The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Picture a woman standing at the edge of a bustling city street. The noise of horns and chatter swirling around her like a tempest, her mind a battlefield of dreams, duties, and doubts. She could let the chaos sweep her away, retreating into the shadows of what she's been told she should be. Or she could plant her feet, lift her chin, and choose to meet the storm with a quiet, unshakable resolve. This is the heartbeat of Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that reaches across centuries to speak directly to women today, offering not just a shield against life's trials, but a flame to light our way forward. What if the words of Marcus Aurelius, etched in the flicker of a soldier's lamp, could guide you through the clamor of modern expectations? What if this wisdom, born in the dust of Roman battlefields, could help you transform every step towards strength, peace, and purpose? Let's embark together on a journey through 7 Stoic lessons, reimagined for the women of today, where resilience isn't just about weathering the dance in its rain, crafting a life that's wholly, fiercely ours. Imagine Elena, a nurse in Los Angeles, her scrubs stained from a double shift, her daughter's school project still undone on the kitchen table. Or envision Lynn, a graphic designer in Austin, her portfolio brimming with creativity, while her inbox overflows with revisions from a boss who doesn't see her spark. These women, like so many of us, walk paths lined with thorns, societal pressures, family hopes, the weight of roles we didn't always choose. Stoicism doesn't promise to clear the thorns, but it hands us a pair of shears, teaching us to prune what we can and stride past the rest. This isn't about grim endurance. It's about turning every prick into a chance to bloom. So, join me as we weave this ancient thread into the tapestry of women's lives, drawing from real stories, sharp insights, and a deep well of inspiration to illuminate a path where every woman can thrive. Focus on what you can control and let go of the rest. Elena leans against the hospital break room wall, the fluorescent lights buzzing overhead, her phone buzzing too, another text from Hurl and Lord about the rent she can't yet pay. Her daughter's teacher emailed about a missed deadline, and a patient's harsh words still sting. She could let this cascade bury her, each worry a stone piling onto her chest, whispering, "You're failing." But then she closes her eyes, breathes, and asks herself a question that cuts through the noise. What can I control right now? This is the first Stoic lesson, a compass in the wilds of life. Eleanor can't force the landlord's patience or rewind the day, but she can choose her next breath. She can wash her hands, sip lukewarm coffee, and decide this moment won't break her. It's a quiet act, but it's power, her power. This isn't just Eleanor's tale, it's a pulse in the veins of women everywhere. Think of Sojourner Truth, standing tall in 1851, her voice ringing out at a women's convention in Ohio. Ain't I a woman? She couldn't control the chains of slavery that once bound her or the skepticism of the crowd, but she could control her words, her stance, her truth. That choice echoed through history, a thunderclap for justice. Stoicism offers us this same anchor. The world may howl, but our minds are ours to command. For women, so often taught our worth hinges on others' approval, this is a rebellion. It's not about pretending the burdens aren't real. Eleanor's fatigue is heavy, Sojourner's scars were deep, but about refusing to let them rule us. Bring this into your day. You're stuck in a meeting, your ideas dismissed, your phone lighting up with a friend's cancelled plans. The old you might stew, resentment simmering like a pot left too long on the stove. But the Stoic you pauses and thinks, I can't change their ears or her mind, but I can change mine. You doodle a flower in your notebook, let the slight roll off, and find a flicker of calm amid the storm. It's not instant, it's a practice, a thread we weave stronger each time, but it's where freedom takes root. Women have long carried the weight of expectation, But Stoicism says, hold only what's yours. Let the rest drift like leaves on the wind. This lesson ripples through the mundane and the monumental. Dilemma. But she can lift her gaze, offer a steady hand, and know her effort matters, even if unseen. History brims with women who grasped this. Take Florence Nightingale, tending soldiers in the Crimean War, her lamp a beacon in the dark. She couldn't stop the war or heal every wound, but she could clean a bed, write a letter, shift the tides of care. For us, it's the same. Maybe you're a teacher, a student scorn stinging your pride. You can't force their respect, but you can teach with heart, knowing your light shines beyond their sight. This is Stoic strength, not loud, not forceful, but a quiet, steady flame. Apply it again. You're home, the laundry piling up, your partner's late, your email pinging with work you left behind. Chaos tugs, but you choose, fold one shirt, breathe, smile at the softness against your hands. It's not about fixing everything, it's about claiming this sliver of now. I learned this at 22, juggling a dead-end job and a sick parent, my dreams drowning in if only yes. Then I found Epictetus, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. I couldn't heal my mom or quit my shift, but I could write a line of poetry on my break. That line was mine, a lifeline. For women, so often stretched thin, this is a gift, to hold our own reins, even when the world pulls. Perception shapes your happiness. Linz, it's at her desk, her screen glowing with a design she poured hours into, only for her boss to shrug, it's fine. Her parents call, their voices laced with pride but all new pressure. Mary soon, settle down. Her sketchbook lies untouched, her true love illustration, pushed to the edges of her life. I'll be happy when I can draw, she whispers, tethering joy to a future she can't yet grasp. Here's the second Stoic lesson. Happiness isn't a far-off shore. It's a lens we polish today. The Stoics would lean in and ask Lynn, why wait? She can't ditch her job or silence her family, but she can reframe her days. Each revision becomes a brushstroke, a step toward a life where her art thrives, not as a distant dream, but as a seed planted now. This truth shines through women's stories. Picture George O'Keeffe, painting flowers in the New Mexico desert, her hands gnarled, her sight fading. She couldn't stop age or critics who called her work too feminine, but she saw beauty in petals, in bones, in the vastness of her solitude. She didn't wait for acclaim, she crafted her joy. Her canvas is a testament to a mind that chose its own light. For women, taught to delay our passions, after the kids, after the degree, after the world nods, this is a wake-up call. Lynn doesn't need to abandon her job. She can weave her art into its cracks, sketching at midnight, her pencil a quiet defiance. Try it in your life. You're scrolling Instagram, a colleague's promotion blaring back, your own desk feeling small. I'll be happy when I climb, you think? But what if you shifted? What if your coffee's warmth, your cat spur, became your triumph? This isn't denial, it's choice. When I was 26, I envied friends buying homes while I rented a cramped room. My writing stalled. Then Marcus Aurelius hit me. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself and your way of thinking. I couldn't buy a house, but I could savor my tea, write a story, find richness in the small. For women, so often judged by external scales, this is freedom to define our own enough. Lynn's boss might never see her genius, but she can. She can see each project as practice, each critique as fuel, and steal an hour to draw, not as rebellion, but as creation. History backs this. Think of Zora Neale Hurston, scribbling their eyes were watching gone amid poverty and rejection. She didn't wait for publishers' praise. She saw her words as gold, her voice a gift to herself first. For us, it's the same. Maybe you're a mom, your day a blur of diapers and dishes, your old self buried. Reframe it. Each lullaby's a song, each meal a masterpiece. Women's happiness isn't borrowed, it's built brick by brick in how we see. This lens bends even the darkest days. Eleanor's shift ends, her feet aching, a patient's death lingering in her mind. She could sink, but she chooses, I did my best. That choice is her light. I felt this at 29, a breakup shredding my plans, my worth tied to his goodbye. Stoicism whispered, what's gone isn't you. I couldn't pull him back, but I could walk alone, feel the sun, reclaim my story. For women, so often shaped by others' gazes, this is a mirror to see ourselves clear, whole now. Embrace life's impermanence. Eleanor tucks her daughter into bed, the girl's laughter still ringing from a game of tag, her tiny hands clutching a stuffed bear. It's a snapshot of bliss, but the clock ticks, school tomorrow, work soon, this moment slipping away. The Stoics saw this not as theft, but as truth. Everything, joy, sorrow, chaos, fades. When Eleanor clocks out, her daughter asleep, she might take for that giggle. But Stoicism says, drink it deep now. Revel in these fleeting rays, knowing their brevity makes them gold. This isn't abstract, it's etched in women's lives. Think of Anne Frank, heard Irie a lifeline in an attic, bombs rumbling below. She couldn't stop the war, but she savored a sunbeam, a friend's whisper, each entry a claim on the present. Her joy wasn't dulled by transience, it glowed brighter. For women, juggling roles that shift, student, worker, caregiver, this is a call to hold tight. When Lynn's design gets scrapped, she can mourn or marvel at the next blank page, its potential hers alone. Feel it yourself. You're laughing with a friend, the cafe humming, and it strikes you. This won't last. The bill comes, the day ends. But instead of grieving, you lean in, memorize her smile. Let the coffee's bitterness bloom on your tongue. When my sister moved abroad, our last hug lingered, her scent fading as she boarded. Marcus Aurelius steadied me. All is ephemeral, both memory and the object of memory. I couldn't keep her near, but I'd felt her fully. For women, racing through life's checklist, this is a breath to cradle the now like a fragile, perfect thing. This shifts the hard times too. Eleanor's daughter spikes a fever, the night stretching thin with worry. It's heavy, but temporary, morning will break, the fever will fade. Stoicism doesn't erase pain, it frames it. Think of Coretta's caught king, burying Martin, her grief vast, her children watching. She couldn't undo his death, but she knew it wouldn't hold forever. She marched her loss a spur to justice. For us, it's the same. Lynn's rejected design stings, but it passes, a storm clearing for new skies. Women have weathered worse. This reminds us, nothing lasts, not even the dark. Live it daily. You're stuck in traffic, rain drumming, your mood souring. But it's fleeting, the light turns, the clouds part. I learned this at 30. A job loss gutting my savings, my future foggy. The Stoics said, this too shall pass. I couldn't rush the next gig, but I could walk my dog, feel the grass, trust the wheel turns. For women, so often tethered to permanence, perfect homes, endless roles, this is release to ride life's waves, knowing each crests and falls. Courage is choosing action over fear. Lynn's fingers brush her sketchbook, a local art show flyer pinned to her wall, her pulse quickening. She's dreamed of submitting, but doubt gnaws. What if they laugh? The Stoics didn't see courage as fear's absence, but it's Dan's partner, acting despite the tremble. Risk isn't reckless, it's stepping into shadow, because staying still dims your light. Lynn can't guarantee applause, but she can roar, her line shaky but bold, her heart laid bare. That's her strength. This pulses through women's legacies. Picture Mola Lighthouse, EI. 15, a bullet tearing through her for daring to learn. She couldn't stop the Taliban's rage, but she could rise, speak, her voice a torch for girls worldwide. She risked death because silence was worse. For women today, this is a spark. Maybe it's pitching a project, leaving a dead-end job, or telling your truth. When I switched careers at 31, my savings slim, my friends puzzled, fear clawed. Seneca soothed me. It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult. I leapt, taught myself code, stumbled, stood, not because it was sure, but because it was me. Try it now. Your co-worker takes credit, your instinct to seethe. But what if you spoke, calm but firm, risked the clash? The Stoics say the worth's in the stand. Lynn's art might flop, but she'll know she tried. I felt this at a poetry slam, my voice cracking, the crowd a blur. I couldn't win their cheers, but I won my nerve. Women are taught to shrink, but courage says grow. Elena might ask for a shift change, her throat tight, her need clear. That's the victory, not the yes, but the asking. This courage bends to the big and small. Maybe you're a student, a professor's sneer cutting deep. You can't shift his bias, but you can raise your hand, your question a quiet roar. History cheers this. Think of Elizabeth Blackwell, America's first female doctor, rejected by schools, mocked by peers. She couldn't erase their scorn, but she studied, graduated, her stethoscope a defiance. For us, it's the same. Lynn's flyer taunts, but she submits, her art, her voice. Women's power isn't waiting, it's doing, daring, being. Live fully in the present. Elena pours a patient's water, the ward buzzing when her phone vibrates, her daughter's school a scraped knee. Her mind leaps, past guilt for missing pickup, future dread of overtime. The Stoics stab her back, life's here now. Not yesterday's regrets, not tomorrow's fears, but this the cool picture, the patient's nod, the chance to call soon. Presence isn't blindness to what's been or will be, it's sinking roots into what is. This glows in women's lives. Picture Maya Angelou, her pen scratching after rape-and-mute years, her voice reborn in Still I Rise. She didn't linger on pain or chase distant peace. She wrote now, her words a lifeline. For us, it's a nudge. When Lynn's design stalls, her boss Kurt, she can fume or feel Hearst eyeless. The screen's hum, the now hers. I missed this once, rushing through a park, my mind on bills, blind to a cardinal's flash. Epictetus later struck me. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has. I stopped, soul lived. Women, pulled every way, deserve this, to taste the moment. Practice it. You're hugging your mom, her perfume familiar, your mind on next week's flight. Pause. Feel her warmth, hear her breath, let the now bloom. Gratitude anchors us, Ellen for her daughter's trust, Lynn for her steady hand. I felt this at the Tito, a rare quiet night, mighty steaming no rush. The Stoics said, you have the moment. I sipped, listened to the rain, stayed. For women, stretched by endless tomorrows, this is a gift to dwell in the garden of now. This shifts the hard too. Eleanor's patient codes, her hands steady, her heart racing. It's grim, But it's now she acts, breathes, lets tomorrow wait. Think of Order Lord, cancer clawing her poetry a lifeline. She didn't mourn the future, she wrote the present, her rage and love alive. For us, it's the same. Lynn's deadline looms, her sketch half done. She can panic or draw, one line at a time. Here, women have always lived split, past duties, future fears. Stoicism says, be whole now. Action breaks the chains of overthinking. Lynn stares at her sketch. The art showed headline ticking, her mind a maze of what if I'm not enough? She could freeze, doubt her cage, but the Stoics say move. Not blindly, but with purpose. Lift the pencil, trace a curve, begin. Action slices through overthinking, turning fog into footing. Elena hesitates too, should she ask for a promotion? The Stoics nudge, don't just ponder, speak. This echoes in women's triumphs. Think of Oprah Winfrey, her childhood a scar of abuse and want. She didn't overthink escape. She spoke, worked, her voice a ladder from dirt to dazzle. For women, taught to doubt, this is a key. When I faced a blank screen, my novel a ghost, fear stalled me until Stoicism pushed right. One word became a chapter. Action isn't flawless, it's forward. Do it now. You're mulling a call, sister, mentor. Stop circling dial. Eleanor asks for that promotion. Her palm sweaty, her worth clear. Lynn submits, her sketch raw but real. I felt this at 33, a pitch to a magazine, my gut churning. I couldn't force their yes, but I sent it my words free. Women's strength isn't endless debate, it's doing, stepping, claiming. This bends to the small too. Maybe you're a cashier, a rude customer souring your shift. You can't shift their mood, but you can smile, bag their goods, move on. History nods. Think of Rosa Luxemburg, jailed for her ideals, her letters a lifeline. She couldn't break bars, but she wrote, her mind unbound. For us, it's the same. Eleanor's patience snaps, but she tends her care, her act. Women's power isn't waiting, it's moving, now. Pursue what sets your soul alive. Lynn's sketch isn't just lines, it's her breath, her blaze. Her job pays rent, but her art calls her core. The Stoics say, live true to your nature, chase what ignites you. Not shallow thrills, but purpose, rich, resonant, yours. Eleanor's patient notes, scribbled on napkins, aren't a degree yet, but they're her truth. This isn't about dropping all. It's about carving room for your fire. Look at Toni Morrison, her novels born in dawn's hush, her kids asleep, her job as scaffold. She didn't wait for ease, she wrote her soul-reshaping words. For women, boxed by must-haves, this is a lifeline. Lynn can design by day, sketch by night, her passion a vein through the gray. I chased a safe path once, my stories muted, until Stoicism asked, what's your spark? I wrote eyes burning and found me. Ask it. What steals your hours? Cooking, coding, singing? Eleanor's notes, Lynn's art, then off light, their flight. I felt this at 34, a garden plot my haven, dirt under nails my joy. The Stoics said, live according to nature. I planted, grew, lived. For women, surviving isn't enough. It's thriving in what sings to us. This holds in the grind too. Maybe you're a clerk, your poetry unread. You can't quit, but you can't scribble, your soul whispering. Think of Emily Dickinson, her verses hidden, her life small. She didn't seek fame, she sought truth, her pen, her pulse. For us, it's the same. Lynn's job drones, but her sketch lives. Women's strength is this, to chase what matters, against the grain.